We're back. Here's basketball. Yellow. A dangle dabber. We're reviewing Richard Pritchard. He got on the court when he wasn't supposed to. He's from the starting five. No. Boo. Oh. You guys want to play Minecraft? Oh, there's Grant Williams. Dad, come on. Take off your shirt. We're going in. Austin Reeves is too busy playing ancient volleyball. Aww. You did a good job. You almost got a point. Now you're just going to sit on the bench the rest of the year. I don't like watching the Lakers.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, October 24th, 2024. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, Top Shot Hot Boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Great to have you back, JD.
Great to be back.
Yeah?
Yep.
Esh did an admirable job filling in for you.
Did a great job.
Are we sharing why you were gone from the Classic Factory or no? I wasn't sure.
I mentioned it on Is This Good this morning. I had a colonoscopy. No big whoop.
Hey, no big whoop.
Yeah.
That's what you do
No
at a
whoops?
man of your age.
As a man of my age and stature, you must get your colon checked for cancer. Hey,
that's
it's
right.
it's a pretty, the procedure, you sleep through it,
Okay.
but the 24, 36 hours beforehand, not good.
Can't eat.
Can't eat.
Kind of the
And you're self-induced diarrhea. You
Yeah.
take, not to get too graphic, but
Hey, I asked.
yeah, you did ask.
But you're feeling better now.
I feel, next time I'm taking a week off, but yeah, whatever. It was fine.
You have two shows today, too. We have Survivor.
Got two shows today,
No
two
bus.
shows tomorrow. I had a meeting yesterday. Anyways, let's get on with it.
This guy, that's why I call him a super producer every damn day for the last 20 years. Show me another podcast producer that go gets his ass checked and he's right back in the seat. You can't. You
No,
can't.
I am standing, to be fair.
Well, that's good. Good point. Standing helps the flow of everything. Okay, let's get into it. 20 more NBA teams officially opened the 2024-25 season last night. We got a bunch of questions to help us recap the very busy night. Let me say this now, though. Apologies if we don't get to your favorite team or touch on the game you wanted. There's just too much basketball at times. We're just normal men. We're just innocent men.
We're simply men.
We're simply men.
Who do you think's
Innocent
gonna
man.
get
You don't know
shafted
that?
here? Which team do you think we're not
Warriors,
gonna not
Blazers.
talk?
Warriors, Blazers, great call. It's an
The other nine,
absolute ass-kicking. It's the
Yes.
latest game of the night. It's one team, you still have hopes for in the Warriors against a team that's going to be one of the worst.
Kuminga's starting, though.
Hey, I got Warriors thoughts too. Sorry, Blazers.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Blazers. That's the one.
Okay. No, let's start with this question. Tass, you get us going. Most dominant performance from last night. You can go team, you can go player, wherever you want to
Right.
go.
I'm starting with LaMelo Ball and
Yeah.
the Charlotte Hornets
Okay.
beating the Houston Rockets. Very surprising. I think we all forget how good LaMelo Ball is. He looked great to start this game. He had a defender, Fred VanVleet, come out to him beyond the three-point line. LaMelo just stepped into it, banged home a three, and he just kept rolling. It's not like he forced shots in this game. He didn't even force passes in this game. He had a wide open three in the second quarter. He said, you know what, Brandon Miller, you're there. I'm going to give it to you. Wide open. Give it to Brandon Miller, who hit the shot. Great passing, great team effort. It seems like they're a different team, and Brandon Miller had that monster dunk in the second quarter. What makes this really weird, he went out with an injury. Nick Richards is out for this team, or Mark Williams, is out for this team. So you had Grant Williams playing against Alperen Şengün of all people, but LaMelo just kept rolling, and it's not just the threes. It was the spins to the lane. When somebody would come out at him, he was able to get by him. He had a 30-foot three with a minute 40 left that basically iced this game. He had another one just before that he put off the
He
backboard.
bricked, got the rebound,
But
and
he
scored.
got the rebound, and he scored. So he finished with 34 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. It was an odd performance by the Rockets because it looked like they had this game after the half. It looked like they were good.
They were up 18 at one point.
Yeah, and Alperen Şengün looked awesome. 11 boards in the first quarter, but just 7 the rest of the way. They just fell apart in that third quarter. Fred didn't have a great night. Jalen Green wasn't quite right. But anyways, he took a lot of shots. But all that to say, LaMelo Ball was absolutely fantastic. He just looked like a totally new basketball player that we've forgotten about. I had forgotten about how good he was, and Trey Mann helped him out. Wearing those big shorts, as you mentioned, Trey.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like them?
Yeah.
He played
They look
well,
cool.
too.
Yeah. It looks cool, especially for the style of player he is as like a space creating guard. He's just coming in to get buckets. Lou Williams style. He had that beautiful behind the back step back for three. They were actually going to Trey Mann as their like go-to guy down the stretch alongside LaMelo. Similar to me to like when Terry Rozier was on the Hornets as well. Like LaMelo handles the ball, but he's going to give it up and let some other guys get shots. I thought LaMelo's floater was on. He's not always the greatest finisher inside, even though he's 6'7". He was 5 for 7 in the lane. That was great. The question for LaMelo is always health. Can you stay on the floor? He's played one game more than Ben Simmons the past couple of seasons, so it's easy to forget how awesome he actually is. And then consistency. He's not giving you 34 and 11 every single night, but I think it would be reasonable as a Hornets fan to ask for him to give you 25 and 8 every night. He's certainly capable of that, but that was great. He was awesome. Got a great shot for Grant Williams, too, on what ended up being the game winner. Fun game.
Yeah, Charles Lee, after the game, talking about LaMelo, said he is like the engine for us. And he really is. And he's very similar in ways to Trae Young and like his importance to the Hawks, obviously scoring and setting guys up. I did forget the swagger that LaMelo brings to the floor, because this guy was dropping the too small gesture on like every second Rockets player. He did it right away on the one over Van Vliet.
No.
He dropped the too small
It
early.
looked like a too small, but he was just pointing at his arm. I guess he's
my
got the ice in
God.
the veins thing. I thought it was too small
I thought
as
he was
well.
doing too small. He wasn't putting the other hand over. Anyway, he scored on somebody else
I
on
had
the
to review
baseline,
that,
did it
yeah.
as well, but
Yeah.
playing, that's what type of gesture did he do?
I
Let's
was
look at it.
confused. You're taking a 28-foot 3-point shot. Why are you doing
Doing
the too small?
Yeah,
he was,
Van Vliet's much smaller than him. Yeah,
He was, yeah, but he was looking at the arm. What was cool when Fred Van Vliet hit it looked like he fell on ice, the one shot that he had a wide open look, but he passed it to Brandon Miller instead. So this is a team. This is a team. It feels like a different team. It feels like a team that could be a play-in, confident type of team.
that's where you guys put them in the tier.
Yeah, they
Making
belong
me look
there.
silly after one game. I wanted them in the sagging for flag. What do we call it?
Flag seekers.
Capture the flag seekers. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. A lottery team. But yeah, maybe they are going to be frisky here and at least be competing for a play-in. They, to come back, to show a little defense, obviously getting contributions when guys went down, like you said, Nick Richards, Big Dick Nick. Big Dick Nick is what Mike Zakarian calls him.
His last name is Richards? Nick the Dick?
When he stepped up. So, but it's all LaMelo. He has to play, and then they probably are a play-in team, or
sweet,
if
yeah.
not better, because that's how important he is. What about you, TK? Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Orlando Magic third quarter for the most dominant performance of the night. The Magic held the Heat to 43 points in the second half, just 18 in the third quarter when they outscored Miami 39-18. At one point, the Heat missed 14 consecutive shots between the second quarter and the third quarter. I would say it was like maybe 50-50. Orlando defense and Heat offense. The Heat looked completely discombobulated in the second half, but the Magic were awesome. They were moving the ball really well in that third quarter. 14 makes, 11 assists. They went 18 for 49 from 3 in last night's game. Great start for Paolo. He hit 4 threes. Franz Wagner didn't shoot at all last year, hit 3 threes.
Yep.
Gary Harris and the hand pillow went for 6 threes. And KCP didn't even make a shot. Like, you're probably not expecting the Magic to be one of the worst 3-point shooting teams, never taking them last year, to suddenly shooting 36% on 50 attempts every single game. But at least it shows you they're capable. And Paolo, this guy, he was too small in people, and they were looking too small.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
This is good. This bodes well for the Magic's, chance to hit over 50 wins if Paolo is playing at an all-NBA
nice.
level. He was awesome in this one. 33 points, 11 boards, had the beautiful behind-the-back dime. I loved 0 turnovers from Paolo. I was like, has he done that before? I mean, he turns the ball over a lot. Like,
Yes.
is one like limitation. Oh, that was only the 5th time in Paolo's career where he had 0 turnovers. And obviously played, significant minutes here, had the ball in his hands a lot. So great start from him. You said Franz hitting threes. That's great. The defense is going to be elite. Anthony Black giving them really good minutes coming off the bench. So awesome start for Orlando.
Yeah, Anthony Black was great. They felt comfortable letting Markelle Fultz go because Anthony Black, young guy, but they're very confident in him. Jalen Suggs, all those fouls. Well, Anthony Black, come in. He played great. Paolo Banchero, the behind-the-back left-handed pass to Franz Wagner. That was fantastic. And we heard our friend Chris Miles, who got into that beef with Sam Mitchell, say on
Fake beef, I guess.
Yeah, it was beefy. But it was, a little bit of fake beef. He said, that'll be on the top 10 plays tonight. And it wasn't. He didn't make it. How did that not make it? It was a beautiful pass from Banchero, 33 points. The most in a season debut for a Magic player since Shaq. That's a long time ago. So great for him. Great for that friggin' team to look that good in the third quarter. After a great half for the Miami Heat in the first half, now I think what happened was they celebrated Pat Riley's career at half. It was long.
Too long, you think?
Too long. Too long for a half. I was timing it. We're watching games on playback, so I was going back and forth. Like, how long is this going to take? I went to go check it on League Pass today. I'm blocked out. I put in my zip code. I can't watch things.
Oh, no. League Pass problems already?
Yeah. Put in my zip code. I can't watch things on nationally broadcast games from ESPN, from ABC, from TNT. No, can't watch it. Can't watch live Hawks games. So I changed my zip code to Orlando. Maybe it'll help me out. Nah, that didn't work either. They're just saying, I guess TNT is saying, this is our last year of nationally televised games. We're blocking everybody out. I don't know. Some of my devices work, some don't. That's all I got to say. I was just trying to see how long that Pat Riley ceremony was to determine if that's what happened to the Heat. I don't know. The Magic thrived off it, but they
were like, we're well rested.
Yeah. Magic hadn't won in Miami for 5 years, so that was good for them.
The Florida Derby? They've never won that cup? I saw somebody call it that yesterday in the comments.
Florida man celebrates Magic's first win in 5 years. My other takeaway from this one is Goga Batadze looks like Roy Kent from Ted Lasso now. He's got long hair. What's up,
I see it.
I saw him on the sideline. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This guy taking up basketball after soccer? Impressive.
I'll for most dominant performance give it to a team. I guess if I had to pick a player, I would go Evan Mobley, but the Cavaliers crushing the Toronto Raptors.
That was sad.
136 to 106. The wheels fell off for the Raps when Cleveland outscored them 20-4 over the final 5 minutes and change of the first half. Raptors were turning the ball over left and right, and it felt like every bucket the Cavs were scoring in that stretch was a dunk. Specifically a Jared Allen alley-oop, just time and time again. But they looked awesome, especially Mobley. I mean, that if he plays just like we were talking about Paolo, he plays at that level. Oh my God, Magic 50-win team. Same can be said if Mobley plays like he played last night against the lowly Raps, then that, of course, I think you start to go, well, is this a real contender here in the Cavs? Because he looked great with Mitchell and Garland, stretching out the floor a little bit, hitting the three, like everybody playing their part in that ass kicking. I don't know how much you watched on playback of that one.
The second quarter was where it fell apart there, and I was watching it live, and it felt like the Raps weren't getting back in transition. They weren't getting back on even shots that they made. It was an effort question for them. And then in the third quarter, I thought, all right, coming out of the locker room, this is your home opener. You got purple T-shirts everywhere. You're celebrating your past. Damon Stoudemire's in the building. TJ Ford is in the building. Jerome Williams is in the building. That's the last bark that they heard. I mean, they fell flat on their faces, literally flat on their faces. And Scotty Barnes was not the guy that they paid max money to. He's not. He just was totally flat. Now they had injuries, and what sucks, obviously, R.J. Barrett, one of their top three, is out. Emmanuel Quickley was playing the first half. He goes out for the second half. And Kelly Olynyk is out as well. So Bruno Fernando was coming in. Did you see the first thing that Bruno Fernando did? Bruno Fernando playing backup center.
Oh, yes, I did.
It was amazing. This guy's a professional basketball player, but he came in. The first thing he did was inbound the ball, but he walked into the inbounds before he inbounded it. So it was a turnover. You don't.
Come on.
Anyways, he shouldn't be playing. They have
we don't talk
not
about
an excuse.
Bruno.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. That's sad. It was sad. So Evan Mobley was just going at Bruno Fernando. So there are some questions about the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I think the war for the East second seed is
very spicy.
Yeah, we just mentioned the Magic. Then mentioned the Cavs. They got to be there. We'll get to the Bucks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Knicks taking a back seat right now, and the Pacers are around. It'll be fun.
All right, well, let's move to best new team debut. TK, you get us started here. Who impressed you?
It's Warriors time, baby. Buddy Hield, I thought, was great for the Warriors in his first game. 22 points, 8 of 12 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3. Rebounded a little bit, 5 of them. Had an assist. I didn't know he passed the ball. Basically, wide open threes, they're going in for Buddy Hield. A lot of these were wide open looks against the Trailblazers, but also early in the game when it was still a little bit competitive, he was getting some shots that were off Klay Thompson-style screens with hardly a sliver of daylight to rise up and fire, knocking him down. Quick Trigger. Old Man River. He's also running the court, though. I like Buddy Hield. It looked like he was doing more than just being a shooter. I think a solid debut for him, but I kind of picked Buddy Hield because I didn't think there was a lot of great debuts otherwise. But he looked good, and he looks like he's going to be an important part for this team. They've, oddly enough, like the Warriors, outside of Steph and Klay, have always needed shooting. So they brought in a guy to replace Klay, and he's going to get on the court. You run into playoff problems with Buddy Hield, as we saw last year with Philadelphia. Who cares? It's the regular season. It's October still.
Yeah, he was good. You have any thoughts on Buddy of the Warriors?
The only thing I want to talk about with the Warriors is Jonathan Kuminga getting the start, not getting the extension before the season, and I guess Steve Kerr and Kuminga have agreed you can be a starting forward, even though they do lack shooting when he's playing with Draymond Green and Trace Jackson-Davis and Wiggins to start right now. But that's the deal. That's the handshake deal. You're going to play a ton, and we'll see about the extension after the season. So, yeah, that was a shellacking, and I thought the Blazers would be a fun team to watch in general. Just a fun mess, but not so far.
Maybe not. Let me go next here. Let me give Dyson Daniels some love for the Hawks. I thought he was pretty damn good in his debut in Atlanta here. 15 points, 6 of 12 shooting, 5 boards, 2 assists. But it's the defense that they get him for. 1 block and then 5 steals in 35 minutes. Looked really good on both ends. He really plays the sort of defense that the Hawks have not been accustomed to for a while. And it makes sense, that pairing with him and Trae. I don't know if you saw Trae Young in the post-game press conference. It was like all smiles when the talk of Dyson Daniels came up. He's, oh my God, he's such a smart player. You could tell Trae likes a guy like him that gives a damn on the defensive end beside him. And we thought Dejounte was going to be that when he came to Atlanta. We can get to him in a second. He played okay for the Pelicans. Obviously had the unfortunate hand fracture there late in that game. But yeah, Daniels, it made sense after one game. Now it's classic Hawks. It took all 48 minutes to beat the Brooklyn Nets. They have a cupcake schedule to start here. Trae, you said it was like they play the Wizards and obviously
Wizards twice, Hornets, Nets last night, and I think they do have a road game on the Thunder, but they should be 4-1 after 5 games.
Right. So they got the W, and I thought he was pretty instrumental in it.
Yeah, Trae Young definitely likes playing beside Dyson Daniels because Dyson Daniels just gets after it defensively. I did like, after the hard foul that he took in the fourth quarter, Nick Claxton hammered Dyson Daniels as he was on the break. He hammered him, and Nick Claxton took a few steps into the crowd. So Dyson Daniels, if he got up, he could have easily shoved the back of Nick Claxton deep into the crowd. But what he did was he went up and just had a conversation with him, and it could have turned into a quick brawl. And in fact, unfortunately, fans would have been around. So Dyson Daniels kept his cool in that instance. He's a great player.
Claxton got tossed.
Yes.
And maybe Daniels got a tech?
He got a tech because he walked into the crowd, which is weird to me, but yes, that's weird. You get a tech. He didn't do anything specifically. But anyways, this Hawks team, unlike the Blazers, is going to be a fun team. You see the Jalen Johnson dunk on Nick Claxton. You got a double flex from Jalen Johnson and Trae Young. He also tried to hammer somebody else a little bit later, but the Trae Young behind the back and the lay-in, they're going to be fun.
Onyeka Okongwu was the best game of his career.
Yeah. He was hooping.
He could have maybe got a little nod there in dominant performance, at least for him when he got his career.
Dyson did a great job. The shot, I don't know if it'll ever really be there. Although he had 50% shooting from the floor. He's 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He's always been a 60+% shooter from the free throw line, which is a little worrisome.
That's bad.
For a guard,
he's about
that's
64.
That's
it's
insane to me.
Unfortunately, he missed the biggest shot of the night. Trae Young with the behind-the-back pass in the lane, wide open to Daniels. It was a highlight that wasn't.
Yeah. But he's still very, very a guy who contributes a ton on the defensive end, that's for sure.
Anyone else for new team debut?
I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks defenders beside Damian Lillard, because this was a little surprising. Gary Trent Jr. is going to start beside Damian Lillard as that guy, and Taurean Prince helped him out just to be able to stifle Tyrese Maxey. Over and over and over again, Gary Trent getting over screens constantly and making sure that he put him towards Brook Lopez at the rim, right. And 6 blocks from Big Brook in this one. And so Gary Trent looks like a comparable, just like Dyson Daniels beside Trae Young. This works beside Damian Lillard, who looked fantastic. That dribble is tight. He looks better coming into season number 2. But Gary Trent helped out by Taurean Prince. They both took turns on Tyrese Maxey, who was... He didn't have a good night at 10 of 31, obviously, but
he was like obviously just the game plan. Once there's no Embiid or Paul George, like
he should be able to take out one guy.
Yeah, and they did a good job.
They did a good job. They hustled, and Gary Trent Jr. not known for that, but he did hustle. And Taurean Prince, offensively was really great, and defensively as well.
And I'll slip it in here like I did. Dejounte Murray, 14 points, 10 assists, 8 boards for the Pelicans in a win, but sustained a fractured left hand. Again, like with 2 minutes to go, I think is when it probably occurred. There was the foul from Zach LaVine. He fell to the floor, and then when they came over to help him up, he's like, "Nah, don't touch that hand, man. I did something to it." Now he continued to play, but he's going to miss some time here. No Zion last night. No Trey Murphy, of course, to start this season. It's like the Pelicans, man. It's like they still win.
Yeah, good thing they had Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum still around. Brandon Ingram was the best player on the court by far on probably both ends of the ball. I actually didn't think Dejounte Murray was all that good. He seemed to be in fit-in mode to me. Yeah. That's why he had 10 assists. He was just passing the ball all the time, but they needed it. But unfortunately, now he's got a broken hand, and I guess it depends. It'll be like, 15 to 20 games before he comes back. Surely the Pelicans will pick up another injury between now and then.
Yeah, I know. They can never stay healthy. Let's go to best rookie. You thought finding a best new team debut was a little difficult.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to pick from here.
One man.
From rookie performances. Go ahead.
Yves Missi.
Yeah.
He was great for the Pelicans off the bench. 23 minutes, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. He looked very bouncy.
Yep.
He looked very active. I think he could have a nice role for the Pelicans. They did start Daniel Tice. He got a wide open layup the very first play of the game against the Bulls. Only had months to decide on a defense. They're like, what are we going to run here? The first play of the season? How about we'll just give Daniel Tice a wide open dunk? But I think at some point, who knows? Young big men, they can be great. They can be bad. Very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So, but this was a solid start, I thought, for Missi, and maybe he'll be a starter at some point this season because he's a better athlete than Daniel Tice. He's bigger than Daniel Tice, but Tice is a vet. He knows what he's doing out there.
Yeah, the Pelicans lied to us, eh? Herb Jones wasn't playing center.
Yeah. What do you believe it or not?
Daniel Tice good in those minutes, but Yves Missi was better. He was really good coming off the bench. He gets out to the perimeter. If you're picking and rolling, this guy can take it. And he had 3 huge blocks. He was trailing Josh Giddey and was able to recover, block Giddey twice. And just a real good night. He just plays really hard on that end. And he's not going to put the floor on the offensive end, but he's got nice touch. And he showed it last night. In 22 minutes to go 12.7 boards, 3 blocks in your debut. He could be this team's starter in the long term. And we thought, well, go get a center. You don't have one. And I guess they felt pretty comfortable with Yves Missi, especially with all these injuries.
Yeah.
Guys like Jordan Hawkins came off the bench in this game. He helped out a lot.
Good.
He looked good. He can get buckets. And especially with a small team, you got a board, and he had 7 boards. So he contributed a lot, too.
Yeah, the Pelicans are laughing if they've found their version of like Derek Lively II, which the Mavs obviously did a couple last year, I guess, before the start of the season.
Exactly like
if they found that, that's great. Anyone else? I mean, I know the Raptors got waxed. Jamal Shed, the Shedheads, he played well. He at least probably, immediately became the backup point guard, like took the minutes from Davion Mitchell. He gets at it. He scored 10 points. He was the only other rookie, I think, to score over 10 points besides East. Again, it was a blowout, but he played well.
He did. That's about it.
That's it.
That might be the type of season we're looking at here with the Raptors, Tess.
No, that was horrendous.
Hey, Jamal Shed looked good. That's what we might be saying every second
Grady
day.
Dick, some nice finishes inside.
Fine, anyway.
They have a tough schedule to start this season. If you're playing against good teams that are going to try harder than you, the good teams, they can't try harder than you too. You want to win.
That's right.
That's what happened. And Zach Edey, his debut was not good.
No.
He got pushed around. Walker Kessler, I didn't know how strong he was. He just literally pushed him around, and they're not calling physical fouls these days, right now. And that hurt Zach Edey. Kessler was a monster. 14 boards, 5 blocks, and Zach Edey fouled out in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The Jazz were awesome when Zach Edey was on the floor. They're 14 of 21 when Zach Edey was on the floor. They were getting to the basket and scoring whenever they wanted. So that was fun. Also watching that game, Scottie Pippen Jr. looked like Scottie Pippen Sr. He was going after on the perimeter. He's getting Keontae George like 70 feet from the bucket. He was guarding him the entire time, and Keontae George couldn't hit a shot. He didn't hit one in the first half. 0 for 9. Because Scottie Pippen plays like that.
Let's move then to most surprising from last night. Again, player, performance, team, like results. What do you got first?
Listen, that Pistons-Pacers game, I was good. That was a good game.
I have that
surprising.
in my notes, Task. Most surprising. The Pistons are actually fun to watch, which is important because they're always on at 7 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Early starters.
They're always the first team.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they always just play either the Pacers or the Hornets or like the Wizards. Keep track of that. They'll play them 20 times this year. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they will. But yeah, they looked at least like an entertaining basketball team.
Yeah.
And that's big. That's important for us.
Yes. For people who watch basketball, it is important that games in the Little Caesars Arena are good. Because they haven't been, along with the Wizards, they always seem to have those 7 o'clock starts, and it's always just, And I was watching playback and clicking around, and I said, I got to go to the Pistons game. Oh, God. And it was good. They hung with the Pacers. They were leading by 7 points going into the fourth quarter. Cade Cunningham was awesome the first 3 quarters. He would literally for 20 seconds just kind of do his thing and step into his 3-point shot. I said, no, that's not a good idea. Bang! He hit it. He looked so
He was on
good.
fire in the third quarter.
Yeah. He was on fire. That's right. He had 28 points. He was scorching. And then the fourth quarter, he slowed down. But to me, what made the difference in that fourth quarter when they were up, Ben Mathurin turned it on the other side. It was beautiful stuff. He had the first 3 he dropped Jaden Ivey. Just absolutely dropped him and hit a 2-point shot. And maybe people aren't seeing that highlight, but they literally just dropped a guy. It's an Instagram highlight. And Tyrese Halliburton was going buck nutty on the sideline because of it. He had 2 catch and shoots after that. So he had 9 points. He went to the line 9 times. So he had 14 points in that fourth quarter. We just forgotten about Ben Mathurin because he was
Ben
injured
the
last
Baker,
season.
baby.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just a damn good player. He can
Cupcakes
score.
are ready. Banana loaf is ready. What does he make? I can't remember.
Maybe he makes a banana loaf.
Banana loaf.
I don't know.
I have no idea what Ben makes, but he makes baskets.
I forgot what
He
it
does.
is.
Yeah,
Makes
and-
baskets, yeah, bakes them up.
yeah, the Pacers are just going hard with their team, and it's kind of pleasant if you're a basketball fan and you have a team that plays hard, as they did, and are we talk about these sort of teams that they don't look like they're elite, but they look like they're really good, and they make Indiana fans happy to watch basketball because they're good.
What else was surprising to you, Trey?
The wall works.
The wall. Let's
Nice.
talk about
The
the
wall literally works. In the Intuit Dome, the Suns were actually missing free throws in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant missed 2, getting Clippers fans Chick-fil-A. Afterwards, they were actually asking all of the Suns about the wall. Durant said, yeah, it was crazy. I was just staring at it the whole time. You're not used to that. Devin Booker said, I missed a free throw. I was pissed. I think K missed 2 down there, too. That shit might work. You spend $2 billion? Put a wall up.
For those that don't know, the wall
It's
in the
amazing.
new Intuit Dome there for the Clippers, 51 uninterrupted rows of seats, but the first 13 rows filled with Clippers diehard fans whose, I guess, fandom is like vetted by the franchise,
Yes.
right? Like you got to be a psycho to get in there. Are they all paid actors? Who knows? But anyway, they're going nuts in the first 13 rows, and they're expected to stand and chant and give like it a college atmosphere,
Definitely, yeah.
or an international basketball atmosphere. And they did a good job on night 1.
And I think that's what Durant said too, was like, it felt like a college atmosphere. I had something similar when I played in OKC, because they're a super loud arena as well, but just having it right behind the opposing, like in the fourth quarter, that's where they were shooting. Like you think of the Hawks, they've got a super loud 6-man section too, but it's just pushed off to the side a little bit up. You've got this one right there. It felt different.
It's cool.
At least. I mean, it was night 1. We'll see what it's like in night 42.
Yeah.
But it was cool to start, and this was actually a really good game. Suns pulled it out in overtime.
And apparently it's even, they make it a little cheaper for those fans,
Right.
apparently, to sit there, which is, it doesn't happen in a lot of arenas, period.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to watch a concert, it ain't cheap. Nothing's cheap. But for them, I guess it is cheap. I haven't checked the pricing, but apparently Steve Ballmer made it cheap, and now they get free Chick-fil-A, which is cool.
Yeah, they got free Chick-fil-A, and I think Jazz fans got their they had two missed fourth quarter free throws. So, people are eating well.
So did the
last night.
So did the Sixers. Giannis missed 2 free throws.
I think
So
the
Sixers
Hawks did as well. I
All
heard
Chick-fil-A?
I believe they did as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw. Okay, when we're talking Chick-fil-A, I saw that when the Jazz they hit their promotion, it's everybody in Utah gets free Chick-fil-A.
Whoa.
That just tells you about the population density compared
Yeah.
to other bigger cities.
Still.
But still, that was very, very kind of them. I also saw Steve Ballmer starts the game in the wall. He's doing like a crazy.
Oh, he was
upright,
what
left,
was he
right, upright, left,
doing?
right, upright, left, right, dances to the let's welcome home Clipper Nation.
I thought that was actually a pretty good line.
And they were fired up, man. They were fired up.
And
It was
they
cool.
almost, I mean, look, if Harden hits a free throw, they maybe win this.
Yeah.
Or I guess that would have got it to potentially double overtime, but put up a fight there without Kawhi, of course.
The Intuit Dome debut, not bad. Not bad at all.
No, not bad. What do you think of the Halo board, too? Pretty sexy.
I think it's a fun experience.
I'd love to go. I'd love to
Yeah.
take a crap in every one of those 1,400 toilets.
Something like that. You better walk though. I saw $70 parking at the arena for like the basic parking.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, the wall tickets are cheap. Parking, $10,000. I think the World Series parking is insane too for the Dodgers.
I saw that.
Is that real? I saw
Forever.
like $6,000 to park. I was like, that can't be real.
That's real. That is so real.
Yeah. I don't think it's $6,000 to park a car.
Maybe it's somebody's like house. They're like, hey, you can come park here. It'll cost you $6,000.
The Yankees standing room seats were like $2,000 though.
I believe that.
Just to stand.
Yeah.
Stand like JD. Can't even sit in a seat. It's $2,000.
All right, where else were we? Anything else surprising to you guys on your list there?
No. I think I'm good.
Okay.
I had Hornets over Rockets, but we talked about that already.
Yeah, okay.
it was
That
cool.
was a surprising result for sure. Well, then, favorite random moment? You got anything?
I've got to talk about Cam Thomas. And
Yeah.
that guy is going to fire away each and every night he's on a basketball floor, and he's going to make shots. I don't know if he can keep up with 7 of 13 from 3, but he's going to keep up with the number of shots.
Yeah.
27 shots for him. He's the number 1 shot taker on this Brooklyn Nets team. He had 36 points in this one. The surprising part was he was playing defense. He broke up an alley-oop. You wouldn't think Cam Thomas would do that. He dove to his knees to get another steal. He had 3 big steals in this game, and that's why he had the 8th best odds to lead the league in points per game. Cam Thomas. This guy can score. And so 36 points, I think he's going to, he is not going to score 36 a night, but he's going to score a lot.
So you're
There's
saying
a chance that he could lead the league in scoring.
Cam
Who else
Thomas
gonna
is
shoot
maybe
on that
going to
team?
do what we thought, or some thought Jordan Poole was going to do last year for the Wizards. Remember that whole talk?
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like,
that was hot.
Jordan Poole, maybe he could lead the league in scoring now.
Yeah.
That did not go well. But Cam Thomas, more of a almost like a proven bucket getter in his time in
his young
Brooklyn.
career. We talked about who's going to score 50 first, and I think the gamblers know, or the people who make those odds, they know that this guy's going to score a ton. And that's why he had the 8th best odds. Surprising to see that, but when you see what he did in Atlanta yesterday, makes sense.
Any other random moments you want to address?
That was definitely high on my list, specifically listening to Bob Rathbun and Dominique Wilkins commentate Cam Thomas. Literally, Dominique was laughing. Oh, he don't care. like if a guy's open, Cam Thomas does not care. He's going to the hoop anyways. And this is Dominique Wilkins, a guy who liked to get shots up.
Yeah.
And they were like, whoa, you are shooting a lot, man. He was. But yeah, I agree. He seems better suited to be a 30-point per game scorer on a team that has nothing than Jordan Poole was. I don't know if that's true. Other favorite random moments, Zach LaVine started 5 for 5 from 3. It's going to look great on the Lakers. Lonzo Ball is back, hit his first three, and Lonzo threw an alley-oop to Zach LaVine. Flashback to 2021, baby. Sad times.
Great first half for Zach LaVine. I think that got shut off a little bit there in the second half. But, I wonder, were they working the phones right away when he started 5 for 5? Are you catching this? Turn on your TV. This guy's on fire, man. You can have him if you want. Any other takeaways from last night's 10-game NBA slate? Any other games or players you wanted to address? I thought John Morant taking over for the Grizzlies was pretty fun.
That was a nice moment. The lefty behind the back to the finish at the rim.
With the left
Beautiful.
hand. Oh, my God. Yeah, 22 points, 7 of 12 shooting for Ja, 10 assists, 5 boards. He only played 28 minutes, too. I mean, that was a really entertaining game.
It was.
But they eked out the victory. I thought he was the one hitting the timely baskets or setting up the guys at the right moments. Him and Bane, and, they all contributed there. But that was really
Jay Huff.
Who?
The man's name
Jay
is
Huff, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 threes. He hit a third three. I think it was in the fourth quarter. Ja Morant was on the bench. Oddly enough, he sat like 4 minutes. He sat from like 5 minutes to a minute and a half in the fourth quarter, but Jay Huff hit a huge shot, and he comes back to the bench like this to Ja Morant, and Ja's like, you told me you could shoot threes. I didn't believe it. I thought that was a cute moment. And Santi Aldama actually had a great game.
Like 27 points?
For the Grizzlies as well, yeah. Edie didn't have it at all, so they needed other things from their 7-foot guys. There's other ones around.
Always a hilarious, real first night when you have a bunch of games going thing. The who is that guy? We were all on playback for a minute together. Who was the Pacers guy that we were like, who the hell is that? Enrique Freeman was his name?
Yeah, we like to call him Enrique because we like Iglesias.
Yeah.
But Enrique Freeman, he was getting after it. Yeah. Who Huff play for? Who knows where Jay Huff came from, but he hits corner threes. Jaren Jackson Jr. was also out. So Santi Aldama was awesome.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see the annual release from the NBA saying this guy from this country, these players from this country. Santi Aldama is the only Spanish-born player in the NBA right now. That is weird. The Gasols are gone. Rudy's gone. Sergio Yul ain't coming.
Rubio's gone.
Jose,
Wow, that's surprising,
obviously,
actually.
It's surprising. There's more Belgian players than there are Spanish players.
Isn't Yves Missy?
Yeah,
Yves
Missy,
Belgium, yeah.
He plays for Cameroon, I think. But yes, he was born in Belgium, yeah.
What's really shocking is when you get a who on your own team. I was like, who the hell is Jameson Battle? And why is he playing 15 minutes in the season opener? And why is he one of our best players?
James.
Holy man, that was news to me. He's like a two-way guy. Pretty late, obviously. I was like, all right, Jameson Battle. Well,
yeah, like Bruno Fernando.
The battle will be us jumping in the tank this year, Tess.
Yeah.
That's why they got him.
That's right.
Come on.
Am I overreacting?
Well, I hope so.
I won't be overreacting when we're 1-9.
Yeah, it's gonna start poorly.
Yeah.
When do they flag it? The problem is, like, Jakob Poeltl before the season at his press conference was basically saying we're not trying to win the championship here. So that's the scary thing. You got Jameson Battle. Bruno Fernando also was questionable whether or not he's going to make the team, and now he's out there playing, just walking on the floor. All
right, that's our little roundup there from last night's action. Again, if we didn't get to your team or your favorite player, don't worry, it's a long season. At some point we will. Pick'em results last night, just quickly. A lot of you guys, or two of you guys, took the Nuggets. You got the victory. Good job, Tass. Good job, Trey. I think I have that right.
No, we're talking about Suns Clippers last night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was the only one who took the
Tass
Clippers.
had the Clippers.
Yes.
I bet.
I'm looking at tonight's picks.
Yeah.
But Tass was the only one that just got the cover.
That's right.
Suns win, but they had to win by 5 or more points, and they won by, 3 in overtime? So
Thanks to Steve Ballmer. You did
Stevie.
Thanks to Steve.
Yeah.
So tonight's game, let's go to it. I'm going to stop even addressing last night's results. Stop living in the past, Skeets. Tonight's game, it's OKC in Denver. Nuggets favored by 2.5. Maybe that surprised some people. Ash and I are taking OKC, got the points to play with. Tass and Trey are taking the favorites there to win by 3 or more. I'm 0-2 right now. Great start from me.
Gotta take a home team.
I know. I refuse.
Home team keeps winning.
I refuse to do that. 4 games on. Got that one. We got Spurs Mavericks. They are officially starting their season, both of those teams. And then Celtics Wizards and Timberwolves Kings. So Wizards and Kings finally getting underway as well. After tonight, everyone will have played. So there you go.
Thank you.
One other thing I thought of. and it sort of mattered because it ended up being a close game. The Pistons with 6 guys on the floor.
That's hilarious.
Always hilarious. And it was like a really good, whoa, there's 6 guys on the floor. And it was even weirder because there was 2 guys waiting to check in. So it almost looked like there was sort of 8 guys on the floor. They were at the scoreboard. But yeah, so, you can't do that. Technical.
Yeah, technical.
That's all right. It's all right. Bickerstaff hadn't taught them that yet.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't think I had to tell you. We get 5 on the court.
They're like, you didn't tell us, coach.
You were talking about the hoodies the whole time. Should have mentioned how many players we get.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's call it there. We'll be back tomorrow with the Drop Podcast, breaking down those games from tonight, some big picture items in the NBA, and probably some rapid fire fun. Oh, and 5-star ratings and reviews, 5-star Friday fun. What the fuck do we call this damn thing?
We'll have
5-star Friday. Let's do it. Let's do it next week.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah, do it next
It'll
week.
be the
Perfect.
1st of November.
Oh, that makes more sense. So you have time to get your reviews
Get 'em in.
on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a like, subscribe, share the show, especially getting the season started here. Get your NBA sicko fans into this. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully you agree with that. Stick around because later today, here from the Classic Factory over on the No Buffs YouTube page, we're going live at 1 p.m. Eastern to break down last night's episode of Survivor. An interesting episode, I will say that. JD loved it. Trey
it.
wasn't the biggest fan.
Yeah, I loved it.
So I think that'll lead to some great conversation.
Still a great episode.
Yeah,
of Survivor.
yeah. It was just a really different episode.
Look at that immunity item.
We're going to talk about that immunity idol.
Just a straight up bat necklace.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Also something that some people love, some people hate. We got an email about that. We'll read that in Tree Mail. So if you're a Survivor fan or if you want to get in, now's the perfect time. Join us at 1 p.m. Eastern. All right. Until then, or tomorrow for No Dunks, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, we're going to shove in a worst of the week on Friday's show as well. Yeah, you need to, even though we've basically talked about it. The Raptors, you win. No, there's lots of candidates. Lots of
Ooh,
candidates.
I got a candidate.
Nice.
Chicago Sports Network.
Oh, yeah.
Put him in the mix.
Did I tease one accidentally with the Pistons? 6 guys on the floor.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, okay, possible.
It's possible. Ron Holland, come on. What are you doing, dude?
Come on, Dutch. I love it. I love the return of worst of the week.
Yeah.
And before we go, Brandon Miller had the best dunk score last night.
Over 100.
Yeah, it was big.
I didn't know until I saw the score that it was a big dunk.
I think it was too high a score.
I didn't know you could go over 100. Literally.
No, 120 is the max score. You think I'm making all this up, but I'm not.
I believe you, man. I read about the alignment score, how their chests match up to each other. Out of 100.